movies and Hallmark Channel movies and mysteries. Ian, I'm the Hallmark guy.
Tanya, I'm the gal.
And this review is just a heads up. This review is not spoiler free. If you haven't watched the movie, I would say just stop now and watch it and then come back. So this week we are reviewing Aurora Teagarden Mysteries, a game of cat and mouse starring Candace Cameron Bure. I think that's like the hat, right? Bure and Neil Matter. And in this movie we have the plot from IMDb is that it's a clue is left for Aurora at a meeting. It begins a cat and mouse game between her and the mysterious criminal who commits increasingly serious crimes that leave the town rattled. So if you haven't watched an Aurora Teagarden mystery, just to get some background, Aurora is a librarian. She's still a librarian, right?
Yeah, she's still a librarian.
She's a librarian who somehow solves crimes because the police, as in every Hallmark movies and mysteries, are woefully inept. They don't know how to do their job, so Aurora has to help them. As with pretty much every Hallmark movie, they really kind of jump into the setup pretty quick for whatever's going to be happening. I don't know if they really did jump into this one really quick, because it's like within the first couple minutes you are presented with a riddle. Right?
Yeah, the riddle says, "I am half agony, half hope. Tell me not that I am too late."
The setup is basically an old murder from 3 years ago, which, assuming how long these movies have been on, they would have probably discovered this already, I think.
I would think so. Or maybe we don't know necessarily. We don't know necessarily that it was a murder. It could have been a kidnapping.
True, it could have, but right, it's going to be a murder.
They haul her away, but they don't show her dead.
It's always a murder.
Oh, no, there's been ones where the person disappeared and they thought they were murdered. Remember, and they found him in a town.
And then they show up murdered later.
No, they showed up in a town like 10 miles away. Hiding because they were afraid of being murdered.
Anyway,
so we're not positive.
So we're back to the real murder.
Don't jump to conclusions.
I mean, these movies are always better because somebody's going to die eventually. But when you look at again back to the setup with Aurora Teagarden, she holds the Real Murders Club, where they kind of get together, and it's kind of creepy to
try to solve old murders that were never solved.
They don't try to solve; they just sit around and discuss them, and then they get involved in murders. I don't think that's a.
I don't know if I want to be in the town there.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems there's a murder every week.
Yeah. There's a murder every week, and the Real Murders Club usually has something to do with it to help solving the murder. So so in this particular setup, we have what might be a kidnapping or a murder from 3 years ago, and it looks like the Real Murders Club is going to actually discuss this particular murder. We'll find out. Okay, I want to jump into stereotypical things here because they're discussing the love interest, because there's always a love interest in these movies, of Nick Miller, which is, I guess,
her neighbor,
and they kind of stereotype him. They stereotype all guys in saying that guys don't pick up or clean up after themselves. They stereotype all guys. I think in this particular instance, they do tend to stereotype guys a lot in these movies. I don't know if it's the authors or not, but they stereotype guys. And here we have that Nick Miller is the perfect man because he picks up after himself. Like he picks up his socks, which I think is disingenuous.
He could be a serial killer. That's why he's so neat. Well, doesn't want to leave any evidence when he does the crime.
He's a serial killer. I almost believe that.
Though I do want to jump in here. I'm really annoyed by her hair color.
Oh, the hair color? Oh my gosh, she changed. Yes, the hair color.
She's usually a blonde.
Yes,
and she has like this red hair.
Yeah, the red hair isn't working
currently.
No, it's kind of like a.
Should not have been done.
Strawberry blonde. No, yeah, that is really bad. It just looks bad. But it seems like there's a little bit of because all the women in town seem to want Nick Miller. Like there's no other guys in this town right now because Nick is so perfect. That's really what we're looking at to start this off. So, and also I have to mention too that I think around the when they had the script read for this first ever movie, they're going to call her Ro throughout the entire movie because nobody wants to say Aurora. It's really hard to say and repeatedly say over and over again. So I think I said we're just going to call her Ro, which is kind of annoying, but hey. So as we move on, there is actually another character who is, I guess, working for Nick at the university. She's a cleaning lady, and she cleans his house for him. That's why she knows he's so neat. But she has a crush on him. But she thinks Ro is dating him. Okay. So there's the claws are coming out between the two. Yeah, okay. So they got this little crush going on, and she gave a really big slap to Ro, saying that he probably isn't interested in murder. So, but we know that's not true because he's been in other movies. I think the library set has improved. It doesn't look as it used to look like this small little constrained library, and now they've really kind of made it bigger. For this set of movies, they've kind of, I don't know if they found a new location or something, but it just seems like the library's a lot bigger.
I don't know about that.
It's supposed to be a small town, but they have a huge library.
Yes, they do.
And also, just to any feature, like one of the big features of pretty much every one of these movies is the meddling mother. In this case, played by Mary Lou Henner from Taxi. Great, she's had a great career. Now she's playing the meddling Ro's mother. And the meddling mother who doesn't like her discussing
getting involved in all the murder mystery nonsense.
Yes. Like any good mother would, right? You don't want your mom would not want you involved in murders.
Yes, I would say that's a safe bet to say.
Okay, I think one of the fun things about watching these movies is figuring out who's going to die. So I think they just introduced a character, this author that they wouldn't put Edward Irons is looking, that they wouldn't put his book in the library.
Yeah, he seemed very upset
that they wouldn't put his book in the library. So maybe he's going to be our first. Maybe he's going to be one who dies. Who knows?
Gotta pause it. Well, now they've introduced another love interest for the neighbor and college professor, the teaching assistant.
So, I don't know where they're going with this. I really don't. Because it doesn't, it's like, it seems like it's a side plot to what might be the main plot. But really, they're not, they had that set up in the beginning, but it hasn't paid off yet.
No.
Like, we don't even know what that has to do with anything.
Well, I hope he's not dying, because every time she finds a love interest in these things, he either goes away or dies or
what do you mean
something happens.
I mean, I like him too as an actor, because he was on Eureka, and that was a great show. He was Zane on Eureka. Awesome show from Sci-Fi a long time ago. But yeah, I'm just wondering where they're going with that, because they had that big setup at the beginning with the riddle and everything, and the girl getting kidnapped and
well, I think the riddle has to do with she just got engaged, and then the riddle says about are they too late? So I think it's someone who's interested in her.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's why they're setting up another love triangle between
So you think it has something to do with the professor in general? Because I didn't think the setup had anything to do with him, because it didn't mention him at all. It wasn't the character wasn't him. So I don't know if that's anything to do with it at all. I just think it's like, this is a little kitschy side plot going on.
Well, we will find out, because I don't think so. I think it's all part of the main plot, but we'll wait and see.
Oh yeah. The captain is a big rival. Just doesn't like Aurora, but if she wasn't so inept at her job, then she wouldn't need Aurora. Because I just think that's another thing that when you look at these Aurora Teagarden movies, is the captain, who's played by, let me look this up quick. Miranda Figton, it's Captain Lynn, Leardson or something like that, is just really does not like Aurora.
Well, of course, because she keeps showing her up whenever a murder happens.
Well,
she figures it out before the captain does.
Yeah, but there's a lot
she's not going to want her around.
Now that I'm really watching, there's a lot of catfighting in these movies.
Yes, there is so far.
They just sort of want to go at each other. And also we kind of established that Aurora's, I think in other things, she's really pushy. She's always been pushy. I don't know if that's her personality or not, but she just seems like she's just really pushy and rude. I think she's just rude. I mean, she just pushed past and crashed a party for no reason.
Well, she wants her to come to the murder mystery club.
Well, she wants the author to come to the murder mystery club, but
yeah, she's crashing a party for her.
That's pushy.
Her mom.
Oh, what I said that's pushy, and you said she takes after what?
Her mom.
She doesn't. Her mom's not that pushy, is she?
Oh,
I don't know.
She
I don't
is.
Remember from the other films. I don't think her mom's that pushy.
She tries to set her up all the time, and she's a
but that's
real estate
meddling
agent.
Mom. That's meddling mom.
Oh,
yeah, that's meddling
pushy,
mom. That's
thing.
not pushy mom. That's meddling mom. That's different from being pushy, I think. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I just think it's just not. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not a redeeming part of her character. So we had this new member of the club comes in, and now he's a suspect already. Like, that's the other thing. There's this little like core group. Like, they talk about how big this club is, the murder club, right? But then there's this very core group of 6 people, basically, right? I would say 5, 6.
I guess
that actually like are the focus of the group. So, but they're instantly suspect of the new guy, which I think is a red herring at this point. I'm looking at it that he's not.
Yeah, no, I don't.
No, I think it's red herring. I think it's I don't think that he's in watching this. I really don't think that he's the actual killer or perpetrator of these crimes. It's just too obvious.
Yep.
Usually the most obvious one is not. That's how these things work.
So now they're really laying it on thick that it could be this cleaning lady.
I'm not buying that either.
I think that's a red herring.
I don't know.
First, she's the only one who has the access code to the realtor office, and
pick the lock. Well, she had a key to the back door. She also has a key to the meeting room
that was destroyed.
And then they have the strange thing is, like, why would you steal the laptop just to leave it in the librarian's car?
That I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you're gonna, that just,
it looks like they used there was glass. It looked like they used the laptop to break the window in the car.
No, because the laptop would be broken. You'd have to. Laptops are not like unless it's like, an aluminum frame, aluminum laptop, which it didn't look like a cheap laptop. So I don't know. I think it's just strange that like they stole the laptop out of her.
But it's not just that she
office. They wrecked the office. They stole her laptop out of her mom's office, and then they put the laptop in the librarian's car.
Not in her car.
Yeah, she found it in the car.
Found it where her car was supposed to be.
Oh,
they stole the car.
They stole the car. So it just doesn't it seem odd? Like, why would you leave the laptop?
No, but it still all leads to the cleaning lady, because the cleaning lady has a thing against Roe because of the crush she has.
No, that's not. But the obvious thing, it's just too obvious. It's another one of those ones that's just too obvious with the cleaning lady. It could be, but I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it.
So the last thing could be the last message was about the librarian being too strict. And I don't think it was Roe he was talking about, the other librarian.
I think they're trying really hard on this one to make it convoluted. They're trying very, very hard. So.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see where it goes from here. So there's this increasing level of criminal activity that seems to be all linked, and then they throw us back to the creepy author guy. But
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. They're throwing us back to
why murder or Well, he hasn't murdered anybody, really. Why?
Why? It's just there's a lot of motive. Like they're trying to establish motives.
There's no motive.
There's no motive for him to murder. There's no. But well, it's a really weak motive. I think the maid is a really weak motive too. So I don't know. The motives are just not. They're not really strong right now. They're not lining up. Not to say I don't think that this is. I just think that there's a lot of holes right now. Maybe they'll fill them in later in the movie. But we're watching. Again, we're back to how we're watching as we go. So we're making commentary as we watch the movie in real time. So you just kind of everybody knows how we're doing these podcasts. So we'll ramp it up and we'll see what more has in store for us. Okay, one thing I'm noticing as we're watching this is that there's not a lot of cat and mouse. It's supposed to be a game of cat and mouse, but there just isn't. Like the first. We're 20 minutes in now or more? Yeah, we're like more than 20 minutes in. And I just don't think that there's been a lot of cat and mouse. I just think it's been a lot of like just dropping clues. Cat and mouse, you're supposed to be like chase, get close, run away, get close, run away,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
There hasn't been a lot. It's just been dropping clues. They're just, let's drop clues. They haven't really, and kind of try to set up well, I guess you could say it was cat and mouse, where they thought that the guy who was going to set up the food for the meeting, they thought him as a suspect. And so they almost caught him, but then his alibi turned out to be clear him. I don't.
So that could technically be okay. They got close. They thought he was it, but no, now he's not.
Now you're just reaching because they haven't gotten close at all. And also, there's the murder that they're supposed to be discussing, this lipstick murder or something like that. They're kind of. I don't know why they look like they're trying to connect the two murders or something. Is that the murder that happened 3 years ago?
I assume it is. Murder, they haven't really said that.
Yeah, they haven't really said that. They haven't really it's there's a lot of really bad misdirection, I think, in this one. It's not crafted misdirection. It's just sort of like, okay, we need to misdirect here. It's not like well crafted so that it kind of flows. Things kind of seem to be just one crime scene after another. And they're not, so there's not a lot of like what I would consider thriller, type cat and mouse but it just seems to be like lumbering along from one crime scene to another.
Oh, we'll just have to wait and see.
Okay.
Can I have a pretzel first before we continue?
No, we're recording a podcast. Stop crunching onto the podcast. Nobody wants to hear people eating. Nobody wants to hear that. I have a comment. I think that the biggest misdirection right now, again, 25 minutes into the film, I think the biggest misdirection is that they're after Aurora.
Yeah, I don't think it.
I don't think it has anything to do with her.
Nope.
That just seems to be like it's like it again. It's just too obvious. Like they're heaping this on her, but I think it's something else.
I think it's her mean coworker that they're after.
The librarian?
Yes.
No. I don't think so, because she has nothing to do with the murder club. I think it's somebody in the murder club, but I don't think it has anything to do with Aurora. I know that they're kind of like they went into the now. The question is, why would they break into her mom's office and smash her pictures if it wasn't Aurora? So maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to put that out. Maybe I'm wrong because it just seems like that's like too darn obvious. It's like it's not. I don't know. Why would,
like I said, I don't know either. We have to watch.
I just think it's like
continue watching to find out.
Okay. So they found a hair on the laptop. That's what they said gray blonde. It's not gray. I think we're looking at the TA, the teaching assistant, his new teaching assistant.
Could be. Yeah. Aurora had no idea who she was, but she was like attacking her. Like, you can't see him because you're bothering him. So she knows who Aurora is, definitely. So
but she's the one that they have not pointed to, really.
Except for that she's jealous.
Except that she's jealous. That's it. Everything else, like the maid and the author, they've really kind of tried to, but they're keeping her on the sideline.
So maybe she might be it.
She might be the one. Okay, so we just set up that there's this big big setup now that all these clues are coming from old mystery novels, murder mystery novels. And kind of leads right into the fact, and we got confirmation finally that Ro isn't really the subject.
She isn't really the victim.
So yeah, she isn't really the victim, or she isn't really. Maybe she's the murderer wants her
to figure it out before he
yeah, but
escalates to murder.
Yeah, I don't think so. But now the next clue
leads to her reporter friend.
Yeah, her best friend. Isn't that her best friend?
We'll see if
that's
something happens to.
Just because I like to. Isn't that Sally?
Sally, yeah,
isn't
her
Sally
best friend,
her best
who's a reporter.
Who's a reporter. So we're gonna. I just think that they're trying to ramp up the tension a little bit now. At this point, they're trying to say that this is where it's going to go. But again, I'm still looking at a big misdirect. It's just it becomes too obvious.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
So they just recapped on two of the male suspects. They haven't, because they seem to not have the maid anymore. That was thrown out, or it seems like it was thrown out.
Yeah, it seems like. Well, she had an alibi for both situations.
So okay,
so they said it couldn't be her.
So they threw her out, and nobody is looking at the teaching assistant.
Of course not.
So that even leads me more
towards the
teaching assistant. Yep.
Though I don't know. I'm sort of leaning towards the new teacher.
What?
That won't join
the forensic scientist? No, she's not new. She's been teaching at the university. By the way, for a small town, they have a pretty big university. But anyway, so
I'm leaning towards her too.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
She
even
would know how to leave all these clues like that, and not leave any stuff behind and everything. Yeah.
No, she's just too.
But I don't know what her motive would. I don't know what her motive would be. Unless it's not anything like murder. She's just since she's not joining the club, she decided to set this all up for Ro to figure out.
That's psychotic. If somebody did that, that's psychotic. It's psychotic. That's just psychotic. Because no, I don't think it's her. That's a little bit too over the top, I think, for Hallmark movies and mysteries. Yeah, I think they have a pretty narrow band where they stay when it comes to these things. I don't know. I just don't think. I don't think it's. I just nope. I don't think it's her. Okay.
So Major. They killed the best friend.
They did not kill her. She's not.
Well,
dead.
She's laying down in her driveway, and
they didn't kill
just
her.
like they never do that to the main character.
No, no, not even none of the sidekicks.
Yeah,
the sidekicks have been attacked before. I just say sidekicks have been attacked before.
I don't know, but this is scary. She's like, well, she might be dead. We don't know yet.
No,
you think she's just unconscious?
She's just unconscious. She was attacked, but they tried to set up the maid. Again, yeah, they keep coming back to the maid. Tried to set up the maid.
The neighbor stayed overnight at Rose with with her and Sally.
Nick stayed overnight. That's a very important detail.
Nick the neighbor.
Nick stayed overnight.
And she was upset when she found out that Nick had stayed over at Rose.
No,
but he slept on the couch. The maid did.
Yeah, the maid did. She looked upset, but it wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that's like in the harmless crush territory.
I don't know about that.
No. I'm looking at it and going, nope. I just can't see the maid. The motive's really weak there. It's just horribly weak. I'm still on to the TA. That's my.
We'll see though that she's there. Let herself in after she strangled Sally in the driveway.
Strangle her. We don't know what happened. She's not.
No, she had red marks on her neck. So whoever
really
did strangle her, whether she's actually dead or just unconscious. She was strangled.
She's unconscious. She's not. Nope. She's unconscious.
Well, we will find out and let you know.
Okay, I think we just got hit with a big theme. Because so detective who's in the Real Murderers Club, who's what's his name?
I don't
know. Remember his name? Arthur, right?
Yeah.
Was just tried to confront the old guy, the old author guy, right? And found out that he's been hanging out with the new guy.
in the Murder Mystery Club, which are both suspects.
And they're both suspects. So they've been trying to, and now he's going to they've been working on a presentation for the murder club together so they can alibi each other out. But the theme, what's the theme of his presentation? Is how detectives chase the wrong guy while the real guy gets away.
Yep.
So I think that's probably the huge theme here, the overarching theme of this particular movie. But I'm pretty sure that that's where they're nailing this one. So they've been chasing. We know that they've been chasing these two guys. Plus now they brought the maid back in, right? And which means that they haven't even looked at still the TA.
There's been no reason to look at the TA.
I know. That's why she's it.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay, we just saw our two guys who are colluding together sneak into Sally's room. Now, first of all, somebody tried to kill her. Why is there not cops at the door like every other movie you ever see?
Right. Why isn't there security?
Yeah. Why isn't there
sure no one comes in and tries to complete the task? Yeah, that's a little bit weird. But then it wouldn't play to them coming in and seeing if she knows who did it.
Yeah.
And you could take that either way. You could take that they want to make sure that she didn't see them. One
True,
of them,
you could,
or
but it's not.
that they want to try to solve the murder before Roe does.
Before Roe does. But and then Roe chastised them for not being nice when I don't think she's a very nice person at times either.
Oh, she's a nice person.
She's not that nice. She can be really mean when she wants to be.
So now they basically pointed towards guys.
For the first half, for the first half of this movie, it's been all pointing toward two guys,
right?
And now they completely redirected.
They're saying that it is probably a woman and a romantic rival of Aurora's, that does lead to the teaching TA
or the maid.
Or still the maid. The maid's still in the mix.
But the maid has been pointed to this entire time. And that's usually not how these movies go. It's usually the person who is least expected or in the spotlight for the movie who ends up being the killer. I don't know if there's going to be a killer. On this one.
I don't think there'll be a killer.
I don't know. Somebody's going to die. Somebody's got to die. Otherwise, I'm going to be very disappointed.
No.
Yes.
They don't need to take it to that level.
Yes, they do. They do.
We'll see.
It's a movie of the week murder. That's the way these things work. I don't know. If somebody doesn't die, I'll be disappointed. Okay, they just had the maid come in. They set up a meeting with the maid lady, and I think
she ran away.
But I don't think that's. So it just comes down to two obvious.
Still could be the maid.
Nope.
But they did bring in the TA.
They did bring in the TA too for questioning,
and she did give a really mean glare at Aurora, but
you're not sold on the TA, and I am.
I'm not sold on the TA, I'm not sold on the maid either.
I'm not sold on the maid either.
It'd be somebody they're not even showing.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just seems crazy right now.
They did drop a little bit of an assertion that it's the professor, the department head.
Yeah, because they did date before she became the department head, and that was what I said originally. I said it was her.
Right. You said it was originally.
Because she's a forensic scientist and would know how to stage the crime scenes and stuff without leaving any fingerprints.
I'm not sold on her.
So it could be her too.
I'm not sold on her.
We have three suspects that are viable right now. So and we still have 40 minutes to go. So we will see.
I'm more sold on the TA because it just has that feel to it. All right, we'll keep going. Okay, we just had the quote from the novel about the librarian who solves a murder, and the murder was a college professor pushed off of a building. Okay. And so
my prime suspect was pushed down the stairs at the college, but I think she is the actual suspect, and that she staged her falling down the stairs.
No, why would you do that? No, that doesn't make any sense. That's psychotic. That doesn't make any sense. Nope.
She didn't even have to fall. She just lay there at the landing.
Oh, come on.
She was pushed.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
I think we're now seeing as we're pretty much well into it, we are all sliding toward the TA. It's going to be the TA. That's where I'm banking on. It is not the college professor, because the college professor isn't really a romantic rival. They have not set it up that way.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
It said that he dated her, but then she can't date him now because she's his boss. So she doesn't want anyone else to date him.
Oh, no. Nope. That's poor. I think that's a poor motive. Doesn't work that way. Nope. I think it's the TA. We'll see what happens. Okay, so the maid has now been attacked.
So she can be ruled out. So we still have two suspects. The TA and the forensic scientist professor. She was in the hospital at the time that the maid was attacked. She was attacked first. No, you don't know that.
Yes,
the maid could have been attacked before. Yes,
it would not fit, because remember, each murder was the next one.
Each crime. Was no murders yet.
Each crime was the next one. But now we finally got it linked back to a murder, because from the original setup. After watching all the original setup, they linked it back to a murder of
the woman had just gotten engaged, and she had moved to this new town
to try to escape a serial harasser.
So
yeah, I'm thinking that we're I don't know, 3 years ago. It's well within the TAs. I think it's the TA. I'm still banking on that. What do you think?
I already told you what I think. I disagree.
I don't think
it's a college professor all the way.
Nope. It's gonna be the TA. I just can't see anything else right now. They got it all lining up that way after like an hour of misdirects. I'm not still convinced about the forensics lady, because one, the firefighter didn't know who she was.
That was the picture of the maid.
No.
That was a picture of the maid. He didn't know who the maid was.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to.
So I'm still not. It's definitely the forensic lady, and Roe is in trouble right now because she's with her alone.
Okay. I'm still not sold there. One, because they said the thumbprint on the phone was sideways and not how somebody would type a text. So you would think, as a forensic scientist, you would know that detail.
Maybe she's getting sloppy now.
Okay. All right. Maybe she is. Maybe she's getting sloppy. I'm not sold on it, though. We'll see.
And I was correct.
Oh,
They just showed a picture of the lady who killed the first victim.
No, we don't know that. That's not. No, we don't know that. That's going to be. But it is a picture of her. But I still think we've got a lot of movie left. I'm not feeling it. There's a lot of movie left, because there's almost we've got like 25 minutes of movie left.
I still think. Okay. And now she's alone with her. It's going to be scary.
Okay. I think they're trying to do another misdirect. We'll see what happens. Okay. Roe is a really terrible liar. She's just a horrible liar. She can't lie, and she fumbles it and everything. So there is something there, but it's just that she's just a horrible liar. She needs to work on that if she's going to be hanging around people who murder other people. But I don't think this lady murdered anybody. But we'll see what happens. Okay,
time to gloat.
It is not time to gloat.
The professor of forensic science just pulled a gun on Aurora because Aurora got the picture from her friend that she was involved in the first murder and possibly this one. But now I have another theory. I think she's involved, but I think the TA might be aiding her because has a crush on the professor.
That is now you're really getting convoluted. No, I don't think that's what it is. I don't know if this is going to lead this way, because I think she was involved in the first murder. But that doesn't mean she's involved in this second round
incidents.
Yep. But we're going to find out. I'm still not sold on this yet. They got to give me a good motive. I don't think the motive isn't there.
The motive's a little bit weak.
Yeah, the motive's very weak.
But we'll see. She has a gun.
Okay. Well, yeah, she pulled a gun on Aurora, but
so she's done something wrong.
Okay. Fine, she's done something wrong. She pulled a gun on Aurora. That's bad to start with, but. All right, let's see what happens.
Okay, you got to admit, I was right.
But I was partially right, too.
No,
yes,
see, you can never do
right.
it. You can never admit you're wrong. You were not partially right.
The TA was involved. The TA was involved.
She wasn't the mastermind or anything on it. She was being used by the professor. And so, no, you were not right.
So I was
it was another misdirect.
Right. I was partially right.
No.
I have to say,
disagree.
There's a lot of misdirection in this one, and they typically wrapped up everything
with a kiss.
Because that's Hallmark, and that's the way it goes.
So now finally, Ro and
Nick are gonna
kissed at the end and are going on an official date now. So the next episode should be interesting.
Which we might review here. I know we're a little bit behind on our DVR, so we're trying to catch up. So if you've seen, I know this one this particular mystery was like 3 weeks old, but as I said, we're a little bit behind, but we're working our way up. So we might work through another one on the podcast. We actually might work through another Hallmark romance movie. So we'll find out which one you'll find out which one we do when you tune in again. So this has been a real-time review of the Aurora Teagarden mystery, and we're still trying to come up with a rating system. Are we on Crowns? Is that what we're doing?
I suggest Crowns. You say that's too cheesy.
All right,
so we'll have to decide that later.
Well, we'll go with Crowns for this one. So out of 5,
I would give it a 3.5.
I'm on a 3.5 too. I wouldn't give it a 4.
Not quite. There was too much misdirection. I think
a little bit too much misdirection. A little bit convoluted on the plot, like trying to tie everything together. I think they really needed to tie the first murder in a little bit early. I think investigating.
They throw you off very early with that the club is going over the lipstick murder, which has nothing to do with anything in the plot through the whole thing.
So that's a huge mistake.
So
the real, they should have been looking at the real, I think investigating that original murder would have added a little bit more depth to this rather than doing all this misdirection. I
agree. Yes. They should have been reviewing the original and then it ended up being, the same suspect who is trying to murder someone.
That's what it got there. But it just got so convoluted. I didn't think the whole cat and mouse theme was done very well, because it really wasn't a cat and mouse as much. It was just dropping clues that they weren't really following that well at all, really. I mean, they did come back to the fact that it was they came in really late with the fact that they were romance novel quotes and not murder mystery novel quotes.
Well, no, they were quotes from murder mysteries, but the original murder was using romance ones. Now this one they used murder mystery
but
quotes.
She was the original murderer.
Yes, so they were quotes just from different kinds of books.
I don't know. I just think that kind of got really convoluted at times. But again, I'm still going to go on the fact that I was partially correct. So I'm going to put this in the partially correct column. And you discounted the TA completely. So,
but at the end, when I said it was the professor, I did say before we found out that the TA was involved, it was helping her.
Okay,
so I was completely 100% correct.
I don't know about that. I had the TA throughout. I had the TA.
TA didn't murder anybody, didn't do anything.
Oh, fine.
But helped the professor.
She's going in jail though for conspiracy. They didn't wrap that up very well. The TA's out too, I think. So anyway, thank you for listening. We appreciate you listening to our podcast, and tune in for the next one. Bye.
Bye.